What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new. I'm really excited about today's video because this is kind of different from my regular like video related content, but today I'm going to be telling you guys what I think are the top 10 TV shows of all time. Now, before we get into my list, I want to mention that I know the top 10 TV shows of all time would be like all the TV shows that have ever aired. This is mostly like shows from 2010 to present, and this is also only including shows that I've watched. Like obviously I'm sure that there are shows better than these ones, but these are the ones that I've watched and these are my favorite so far. So I really like shows that keep me like on the edge of my seat. Like I am going to die if I don't watch the next episode right now. Like binge watch 6 episodes in one night. Good. So I have 10 TV shows for you guys, and then I have 4 honorable mentions. So they didn't make the list, but I still think they're pretty good shows and I think you guys should check them out. I want to make this like a series on my channel, like, and call it top 10. So I'm doing top TV shows right now. My next one is going to be top 10 movies, best Disney shows, and so on and so forth. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't down below. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, coming in at number 10 is a show that's been out for a while, but something that I personally just started watching, which is Elite on Netflix.
Samuel. ¿Sois nuevos? Pues suerte, la vais a necesitar.
So Elite is a Spanish show. It was filmed in Spain, and basically it's about a school called Las Encinas, which I don't know what that is in Spanish. I watched the kind with the voiceover actors, but you can just read the subtitles if you want. And basically some of the kids are rich enough to go there and some of them are scholarship, and there's like a whole bunch of shit that happens after this one girl passes away. So basically the entire first season is like, it's like they show the ending and then they flash back throughout the season to find out who killed this one girl. And at first, I'm not gonna lie to you, the first couple of shows I was like, this is all right. Like I don't really think it's that good. It just seemed like another dumb teen show to me. But let me tell you guys, by season 2 I was hooked. I love my favorite characters are probably Carla, and I do actually like Guzman. I think Guzman is a pretty good character. Carla wasn't that cute in season 1, but I don't know what they did to her hair and makeup in season 2, but she's a bad bitch now. I follow her on Instagram and she's amazing. So I definitely love Elite, and it's number 10 on my list. So number 9 is a show that's actually not really that popular, but I really love, and the show is called Reign. It originally aired, I'm not sure what year it aired, but I know it aired on the CW. And so I I watched it about 2 years ago. I watched the entire thing on Netflix, and you guys, it is so good. So basically it's supposed to be like a historical drama of Mary, Queen of Scots, and like her journey when she became the Queen of France and so on and so forth. And at first I thought this was going to be like another boring medieval show. I didn't anticipate all the plot twists, all the cute characters and stuff like that, but when I got into it, you guys, Reign is so good. If you are a fan of like Game of Thrones type shows, I think you're really gonna like Reign. There's like supernatural stuff in it, but it's also still very believable. And as far as historical accuracy goes, some people say it is historically accurate and some people say it's really not. I wasn't there, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I really like the show, and I definitely think it's top 10 of the best shows that I've ever watched. At least watch the first like 4 episodes on Netflix and tell me what you think. But it gets so good, girl. Especially, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not gonna spoil it. Now that I think about it, a lot of these shows are actually from the CW. Like, okay, CW producing the good shows. So number 8 is The 100, which is also on the CW.
It's been 97 years since a nuclear apocalypse killed everyone on Earth. Fortunately, there were survivors.
We have no idea what is waiting for you down there.
Now, this show was on TV a while ago. It's been on TV for a really long time, but I always thought it was lame and it looked stupid and I never watched it. So about 2 weeks ago, my cousin actually recommended me, like I had just finished another show, which I'm gonna mention in a little bit, and I felt like there was this void in my heart. Y'all know when you finish a good show and you don't have anything else to watch, girl, I be feeling like I'm ready to die, okay? So I started watching The 100 and I was like, this show is boring as fuck. Like I would say like the first 4 episodes of season 1, the acting is so bad. It is absolutely terrible. Like it had a good storyline, it had a good plot line, which is why I kept on watching it. So basically what The 100 is about is like an it's like a post-apocalyptic world where I guess the world has been like destroyed by nuclear war and everything. So the earth is completely uninhabitable. It's a post-apocalyptic thriller where the world is uninhabitable. I really like apocalyptic shows and movies, and basically what's left of the human race lives in space on this giant satellite called the Ark. These 100 children who have been imprisoned on the Ark for doing something or the other, stealing, killing, this and that, they round up the criminals that's left in like their juvenile detention center, and they send them down to the earth by themselves with no form of contact, nothing like that, and they basically have to figure out how to survive on the earth by itself. And I know that sounds like a very simple plot line, but I'm telling you guys, I think right now I'm on season 4, and I believe the show has 6 seasons. Season 3 was one of the best, like, captivating shows that I've ever watched in my life. I think season 3 was definitely the best season, but definitely give it a chance. Like, watch at least the entire first season. It's only 14 episodes, and if you still don't like it, you don't have to keep watching it. But the 100, once you get into it and once you get past like the first couple episodes of that bad acting, I promise you it's gonna be one of the best shows you ever watched. Take my word for it. So number 7 is another CW show, and this is actually The Originals.
For 1,000 years, my family had searched the world for a place to call home.
New Orleans? What the bloody hell is he doing there?
You're the hybrid, half vampire, half beast.
I'm the original hybrid, actually.
So if you are a teenager in modern society, you've probably heard of the Vampire Diaries, and I'm not going to get too into the Vampire Diaries because the Vampire Diaries and The Originals are actually 2 different shows. So The Originals is a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries. Essentially, it's about the 3 original, is it 3 of them? Yeah, the 3 original vampires, like the people who started the curse and passed it down. And it is Klaus, Rebecca, and my personal husband Elijah. Oh my god, he was so fun. I used to be in love with him, y'all. The setting of the place is when they return to their home in New Orleans, Louisiana, and they further their family, and they have all these foes. It is way better than the Vampire Diaries ever was. I can't even remember half the shit that happened in the Vampire Diaries because it was just so unnecessary and not boring, but I feel like it was very avoidable stuff. Like, it almost became predictable to a point. But with The Originals, the characters are just, oh my god, they're so good. The plot line is so good, you never can predict what's gonna happen next. And the actors, in my opinion, on The Originals are way more attractive than the actors in the Vampire Diaries. And I just love how they centered the show on Klaus, which is like, he was like the main villain in the Vampire Diaries. You know, I think it's something in English. It's like the anti-hero or something like that. And when you find out about his past and his family, and oh my god, it's just so good. Y'all need to watch The Originals, okay? If you were a fan of the Vampire Diaries, or even if you couldn't really get into the Vampire Diaries, I would definitely suggest The Originals. It is way better than the Vampire Diaries ever was or ever could be. So number 6 is, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this one. Number 6 is actually not a show, it's a limited series, and it is Little Fires Everywhere.
Someone burned down your house with you inside.
Did you really think I wasn't gonna find out? I know about your little secret. Are you threatening me?
First of all, if you don't have Hulu, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to go subscribe to Hulu now. It's like $6 a month with the ads. I have the no ads plan because I'm bougie, but it is so good. Okay, so Little Fires Everywhere, I can't even explain it. When I saw it, this was actually where I finished my show and I was looking for something else to watch, and I kept on seeing Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu, and it sounds very boring. It looked like a very boring show, but for the simple fact that it was starring Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington, I decided to watch it, you guys. And when I tell you guys, 10 out of 10, mind blown. Like, I couldn't expect half of the shit that was happening. I thought I knew what was going on in the show. Then I got to the 3rd episode and I was like, wait, hold on. I think it's like 6 different parts. It is a limited series, so it's not, there's no season 2. It's just the 6 episodes, and it's based on a book called Little Fires Everywhere. And basically it takes place in the 90s in a town that's low-key, high-key racist called Shaker Heights, Ohio. And basically the actress Kerry Washington and the girl who plays her daughter moved to this very racist town, right? And so Reese Witherspoon, who is so good at playing white women who don't mind their own business, is a very wealthy woman. She has 4 children, and it just seems like she has everything that Kerry Washington's character doesn't. So basically it all starts when Reese Witherspoon, in a low-key racist attempt to give Kerry Washington a job hires her to be her maid, and then they get all entangled in each other's lives and all these secrets start coming out, and there is this major plot twist in like the 4th episode that you will not see coming. So Little Fires Everywhere, highly recommend. It's on Hulu. Go watch it now. So coming in at number 5 is an HBO show, and that is Euphoria. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys watched Euphoria. If you haven't, you need to. I originally watched it because it was starring Zendaya, and at this point, who doesn't like Zendaya? She's unproblematic, she's cute, she minds her business, you know? It is a teen show, definitely rated R. There's nudity, there's like all these sex scenes. Like, do not watch it with your parents, girl. But Euphoria basically stars around Zendaya's character, who is named Rue, who has had a history of drug abuse. So she comes out of rehab and she returns to the school, and there's like this okay, so basically she falls in love with this girl named Jules, who actually turns out to be transgender, and it's just like, it's focused on a lot of the problems that our generation is faced with today. So LGBTQ rights, racism, drug abuse, sexual abuse, all that stuff. I literally can't explain Euphoria, but it is so good. And another reason that I really love the show is that I love a show with a good wardrobe, okay? I love a show where the characters are well dressed, and the character that plays Maddie, I believe her, not the character, the actress that plays Maddie, I believe her name is Alexa Demi. Those outfits, I remember when the show first came out, everyone was doing like Euphoria makeup. They were trying to do like Euphoria inspired outfits. I definitely think you should give Euphoria a shot. All right, we're down to our top 4.
Good morning. I don't know what terrible things you've done in your life up to this point, but clearly your comments out of balance to get assigned to my class.
How to Get Away with Murder.
So at number 4, I have How to Get Away with Murder. So How to Get Away with Murder is an ABC show starring the iconic Viola Davis. It's one of, when people ask me what show to watch, it's one of the first shows that I like suggest to them. So basically it's about, the setting is in like, I believe Pennsylvania, and it's at this fictional like law university. So it's at a grad school, and Viola Davis plays a professor, and she is like a criminal defense attorney. So every year she takes on 4 or 5, I don't know, students to be her quote-unquote Keating 5, and the character's name is Annalise Keating, Avi. And her Keating 5 are going to intern for her. They're going to help her out with court cases, and she calls the class How to Get Away with Murder, which is basically the name of the show. And so there's all these murders that happen, all these twists and turns, and they're doing all these court cases, and Viola Davis just being a badass. And overall, it's just a really interesting show. I feel like it's one of those shows that can go on for years and years and years, and I would just keep watching it. The character development is amazing. By the, I think the 6th or 7th season, which is when it just ended not too long ago. I think it ended like last month. The characters are very well developed, and there's just all these like secret hiding and, you know, fighting court cases, and they get all involved in their clients' lives. So definitely check out How to Get Away with Murder. I think it is so interesting, and I love the characters, the plotline, everything. And I just finished it, and I really like the way they ended it. I think it was a great ending, and you need to watch it. Number 3 is, again, one of my favorite shows of all time, which is Scandal.
He needs a favor.
I need to see him.
That's not possible.
He wants the favor. I do not work for him anymore. So you tell the President of the United States to make time.
You need to watch Scandal. You need to watch Scandal, okay? Because number 1, Kerry Washington, everything she does is phenomenal. I don't give a fuck if she acts with her teeth. She does make that little weird face, but it's just so powerful when she's in the moment. So basically, Scandal revolves around the character played by actor Kerry Washington, who is named Olivia Pope, and she's basically like a political fixer. So when politicians like have affairs, when people go missing, whenever like there's like secret dealings of mafia and stuff like that, she handles it. And the whole, like, a huge premise of the show is that she's actually having an affair with the fictional president of the show, which is Fitzgerald Grant. And so they're having an affair, and it basically revolves around like her power and all the things that she, I guess, controls, and how the democracy really works. The writer of the show and the character on which the show is based gave the ideas based on her own personal experiences working in Washington DC, being around politicians all the time. As soon as one episode ends, you want to watch the next one because you just never know what's going to happen. And even though Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder are written by the same writer and there is a crossover episode, spoiler, there's a crossover, they are not the same in any way, shape, or form. The main characters are totally different. They have totally different ways of approaching things. Number 2 is so, oh my god, number 2 and number 1 were so hard to get for me because I love them both so much, but I decided that number 2 is going to be The Handmaid's Tale.
I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen. When they slaughtered Congress, we didn't wake up.
You girls will serve the leaders and their barren wives. You will bear children for them.
Bitch, oh my god, The Handmaid's Tale is so good. If you want a show, I mean, I know I said all these shows keep you on the edge of your seat, but if you want a show that is going to captivate you, that's going to make you feel things, that's going to be like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? Handmaid's Tale is the show for you. So Handmaid's Tale is on Hulu. It's also based on a book. I just got Hulu this past year, but before I had Hulu, I was watching all these shows illegally on the internet, like I know we all secretly do. But basically it's another dystopian show, and it's set in the future. So basically what's happened is that America has been taken over by very radical Christians called the Sons of Adam or Sons of something, and it has been renamed Gilead. So in the future, a lot of men and women are having fertility issues, and they're saying that it's due to birth controls and contraceptives and all this stuff that has made women infertile. Essentially, in The Handmaid's Tale, all the fertile women are rounded up and tagged to become handmaids. And there is if you get triggered by sexual assault or you get triggered by violence, I don't think Handmaid's Tale is for you, or even if you're very young, because it can be very triggering. I was watching that show bitch, couldn't be me. No, it could not be me, baby, but it is so good. I was hooked from the first episode. So number 1 on my list, I'm sure y'all all want to know what number 1 is, and you know, some people love this show, some people hate it. I happen to be a lover, and it is, drumroll please, Game of Thrones. Oh my god. So just give me a minute, Whenever I say Game of Thrones, people automatically think, oh, it's that nerdy shit that people be liking. It must be boring as hell. It has all that nudity and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And girl, I get it. I was there. Okay, I thought all those things about Game of Thrones too, baby. But when I remember my friend Wadia, shout out to Wadia if she's watching this, she actually made me watch the first season, and we watched the first episode when I was at her house, and as we were watching it, she was explaining it to me, and I was like, okay, let me watch this show. When I tell you guys, I watched all 7 seasons in a month. That's how much I love that show. It is so good. I think the writing is impeccable, the character development is impeccable. As far as writing and TV and just the overall interestingness of a show, Game of Thrones takes the cake. You don't have to like the nudity, you don't have to like all the violence, but can't describe how interesting it is and how it makes you feel all these emotions. You get so happy because you love a character, and then you get so sad when they die. It's all these ups and downs. It is just so good. It basically takes place in this medieval fantasy world, and there's dragons and shit, and you're like, what the fuck? But it totally makes sense. Not predictable at all. You don't know who's gonna live, you don't know who's gonna die. But I truly love Game of Thrones. I can't even begin to explain the plot to you guys. At least watch the first season. The first season is only, I believe, 8 episodes. Watch the first season. If by the last episode of the first season you're not hooked and you don't want to watch anything else, I will eat my words. I will literally, if you guys watch any of these shows and you think that my recommendation is ass, comment down below. I will literally eat my words. I will apologize. I will take it back. But I know Game of Thrones is a good ass show, and anybody who's made it to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th season is hooked. All right, you guys, so now that I've given you guys my top 10 TV shows, let's get into the honorable mention. Number 1 I want to honor is Jane the Virgin. Oh my gosh, I love Jane the Virgin. It is such a cute little funny comedy / drama. So Jane the Virgin is basically an English telenovela, and it's about this girl named Jane who becomes accidentally artificially inseminated with this hot guy's sperm, and then she has to have his baby, but she's actually never had sex, a whole thing. And she has her own boyfriend as well, and so the hot guy and her boyfriend are fighting for her the whole show. It is so good, and it's a sweet show. It's a very family oriented show. I also want to include a newer show, which is The Good Doctor. So The Good Doctor only has 3 seasons out right now, but it's basically about Dr. Sean Murphy, and he is autistic, and he is basically trying to navigate the everyday things of being a doctor while also trying to find love and just live life, but as an autistic adult. So I think that it's a really, really unique plot line, and the fact that he's autistic is just such a different perspective on things. And the last honorable mention is one of my favorite shows of all time. It is so random, but it's actually Desperate Housewives. So if you guys don't know anything about me, I love anything from the early 2000s, 90s type of show. And Desperate Housewives first premiered in 2004. And at the time when it was showing on TV, you guys, Desperate Housewives was everything. The actresses were the highest paid actresses on TV. But the plot line is so interesting. I watched all 7 seasons and it was so good. Like, it was so good, my little brother started watching it, okay? That is how you know Desperate Housewives was a good show. All right, you guys, that is it for my top 10 shows of all time, aka the best shows that I've ever watched. I really, really hope you guys like this video. Again, I plan to make this like a series on my channel. I have a top 10 best movies coming up really, really soon. And if you guys do watch any of these shows based on my recommendation, definitely come back and leave your girl a comment. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more top 10 videos and other beauty fashion content. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.